Hello, I am Paul, and today I'm talking about COVID-19, pandemic time, and education. So, this podcast is focused on talking about the pandemic and the consequences that remain in the educational system. Before starting to talk about education, we talk about the pandemic in the year 2020. An event occurred that will be marked in history since the COVID came into our lives. When I say ours, I mean the whole world and humanity. And why did leave us market? Since first until now there is no cure, and it has taken many lives. In fact, there are places in the world that are still in quarantine. Thanks to God and to the government and the people that in Colombia we have known how to handle it, and we have been able to get out of the quarantine. The problem in Colombia is that we're underdeveloped country and education is not very good. If in person it was already very regular. Now imagine that it was virtual. First of all, we are not a rich country. Most of us are class low, average, and most did not have access to into the internet or a device such as a computer to attend face-to-face classes. In fact, even the teachers had the same problems. That year for the students was a year of stagnation. But for university students and for the students of school, there were many disadvantages. First, the parents worked and could not be aware of their children, and this affects the little ones since due to their young age they need a lot of help and support from their homes. And it's not their parents' fault. It's their job since that why they couldn't be aware of their children. In the case of adolescents, they are in a time where being rebellious is the best or the maximum, so to speak. Um, then what did they do? Well, they didn't attend class and they didn't really care about learning. And besides, the teachers didn't help since the classes were very tedious and tend to be very heavy to the emotional and physical load that they carried. They were long days and left many tasks, and that was stressful. That pandemic left me with a great void at the level of mathematics. But I feel that if we had been a country that strengthens virtual education, it would have been much better, and I think that I would even have learned mathematics. And yes, I know that goes in me, but it is also the fault of the teachers. Methodology, since there are many jobs and few things that attract attention. The emotionally, it was because of a lookup. That is, imagine the student change that went from years of going to school every day to spending more than a year lookup every day. Oh, at that time, there were many cases of stress, depression, suicide, and many things. It was horrible and so terrible. And with education, there was a lot of work, and in fact, nothing was learned. Let's be honest, that year nobody learned anything at all. And seeing it at this moment is every every bad. Since to advance in the course I have no knowledge of the about. I am going to give my example or my case, or rather my testimony. Uh, that year I was in ninth grade, and in the area of mathematics we did nothing. The teacher did relative nothing. And when he did something, he did not pay attention to it. So, what happened? Well, when I entered the 10th grade, I knew absolutely nothing, and I feel a long way behind. No wait, since I'm already in 11th grade. It's too difficult for me. I mean, that pandemic left me with a big void of the math level, but I feel that if we had been a powerful country, um, virtual education would have been much better, and I think I would have even learned mathematics. And yes, I know that goes for me, but it is also the fault of the teachers' methodology, since there are many jobs and few things that call the attention. In fact, addressing the subject or well getting a little of the subject, the teachers should be much more dynamic at least at school, since children are being taught, and the children like the game more than two things. The teachers they should make educational interactive games so that children like to learn. An example, I would have liked them to teach me vocabulary by playing Hangman. I was lucky to have excellent teachers, but my favorite is called Bella Spinel. She was an incredible person and excellent teacher of English. For me, is the best. Um, she was my teacher from 9th grade to 10th grade. For me, is the best ever, the best. Oh, yeah, she was an incredible person to teach classes. The best thing is that she had the talent to do it. She loved what she did for me. She is and will be the best teacher I have ever had. But okay, going back to the topic is that right now the pandemic has affected us a lot at an educational level. In fact, to go to university, I don't think most of them feel ready because I don't know of mathematics. But it is something that has to be faced. And well, I think that in conclusion, the pandemic was extremely bad since it affected us all in all aspects of life, at work, at the school, in health, in mental health, in well-being, in food, at home. It was the worst thing that could have happened to us past, but will it has its good point. Science, I feel that it was something good for nature, for the animal that we humans take look at things that we did less damage to planet Earth. Okay, in my thoughts, it is that if on the one hand it is good, and on the other it is bad. For example, it is good for the planet Since pollution drops a lot, the rivers and seas had less garbage, with wild animals were not harmed. An example, the lion, the bears. The forests were free to cut down the trees and so on. Deforestation is end in this moment in 2020 because the pandemic don't bring out. But the real problem was as humans, since we had many difficulties, since we were not prepared for this, and because of this many people died. Others were left without food, others without jobs, and so on. But well, that is a reality that hard to be faced at least. We are already learning to handle it. Mm, so I think um, the pandemic time is was necessary. Is it was necessary, but it not was necessary. Because it's necessary for the planet, but it's not necessary for the human, because the planet has a good manner of life. The humans died and don't have a good life. But I think in China it's good because has over people in this country, and this is necessary. I don't say diet is good, but in this case is good for the planet. And I think the the pollution is so bad, and in this moment the pollution it's end. Forestation is end in this moment because the people don't make these works because the pandemic time don't permit see. So in conclusion, the pandemic it's a good time and a bad time for the depend of the people. um Thank you. This is all. Bye bye.